A review score is often considered the be-all and end-all when it comes to games. I mean, when something does get a 10 out of 10, you either get nerds aggressively defending it or aggressively attacking it like their own mother's been insulted or something. And would you give your own mother a 7 out of 10? Probably, if she didn't have a good frame rate. The problem with all this is that it's just an opinion, so getting het up about it is ridiculous. Furthermore, a lot of these games then do something that absolutely enrages the gaming community, and then everything crumbles, and it is like the downfall of mankind. Or at least that's how some people react, because as we said at the start of the video, some people are just nerds. My name is Simon Miller, and yes, this is 6 perfect video games that are responsible for the downfall of mankind.
Number 6, Half-Life 2. Now this has nothing to do with whether I like Half-Life 2 or not, which I don't, because it's super boring. But the fallout that has happened since this was released in 2004 is ridiculous. I wouldn't even mind if we were done with it, but we're not. Recently, former Valve writer Mark Laidlaw came out and revealed what the plot for Half-Life 3 was going to be, and it set the community off and then some. I'm pretty sure some people literally exploded with rage. The problem here was that it sounded so good, Half-Life fans were then annoyed they didn't get it. It's not like that's anything new. They've been mouthing off for 13 years, this shiny nugget of info coming out only wound them up further. Where was this game they felt so obliged to get, even though it's the equivalent of a child asking for a toy? It really all does come down to the fact the second in the series did so well too. If it hadn't have been met with such good review scores and was merely alright, there wouldn't have been this desperate need to get a sequel. In many ways, that would have been okay to a certain point as well, but it was what these idiots did next, which opens the gates of hell further. Which brings us to number 5, Dota 2. If you don't know, Dota 2 is another game by Valve where you just click away and pretend it has depth. You also spend all your money on pointless items, and the entire time the studio is laughing its way to the bank. Man, you got had. It escalated recently, however, because the Half-Life obsessed crowd decided the best way to vent their mentioned frustrations would be to head on over to Steam and leave bad reviews for Dota 2 just because they didn't get a sequel for an utterly different game. This then annoyed the Dota crowd because the game they deemed perfect was taking flack, so they fired back in kind. See what I mean? A war took place just because 2 games had done very well in terms of a critique. We'd have all been better off if they were merely mediocre, or moreover, we'd be better off if people like this were shipped off to an island all of their own and left to duke it out until only one remains. Then we'd leave that person on the island because we don't need nonsense like this. The game where you play a sad bearded man versus another where you stare and click. What has society become? Number 4, Dark Souls. Yeah, I know. I rag on Dark Souls all the time, but that's because it sucks. What do you want from me? Anyway, I realise there are some very passionate fans out there who think this is more important than oxygen, and fine. Good for you. I hope that gets you through the day, even though it won't as much as air, because you need air to live. You do not need technical messes that only know what the colour grey is. The point is, fans of this series love it so much and deem it so good, complete with high review scores, that they take it as a personal attack should anyone have a different opinion. What is that about? It's not real, you know. It's fake. But yelling "get good" at someone just because you're so butthurt about all of this is ridiculous. And arguments like this are a huge factor in the crumbling of mankind. You're so worried about this, you're not focusing on actual issues like impending nuclear war. Deciding whether or not you want to be hollow ain't gonna save you from that nightmare now, is it? Honestly. Number 3, any Mario game. Mario games have been chalking up good review scores since day one. The original was considered so great people claim it changed everything. There's been loads of entries that have followed suit, Mario 64 being right up there. I would imagine few other franchises have a better average than this, and the Italian plumber has crossed over into the mainstream. Even your nan knows who Mario is, even if the description from her is just, "Oh, is that the video game man?" Once again though, this run of success has assembled an entire army of keyboard warriors who are ready to eviscerate anyone who dares speak ill of the great Nintendo, and at times, it's not funny. Some comments are so audacious that it is without doubt bullying of the worst kind. And why? Because someone played a game where some dude in a hat jumps around and thought maybe it was a bit stupid. Fair enough, I say. Look at the next game in the series if nothing else. In Mario Odyssey, he basically has a new hat, and that's it. He's the Malibu Stacy of games. There's nothing wrong with that, but come on. Is it enough to justify hurtful and mean comments that do nothing but tear us all apart? I don't think so. You may as well be calling someone a f***ing over a jigsaw puzzle. And it got worse in the last 24 hours because Nintendo released a half-naked shot of Mario and the internet collapsed again. Yes, he has nipples. Deal with it. Number 2, FIFA. Every year FIFA comes out, and every year we have to deal with stuff like this.
You have 15 tradable packs.
Well.
FIFA 17?
It is another walkout. I think I just spotted the Argentinian flag. I think I just spotted the Argentinian flag.
Oh no! Oh no! Not gonna look. Actually, no. Let's leave the room. Come on.
End of story. Number 1, Call of Duty. While Call of Duty may not get many perfect scores anymore, there was a time when it was both a critical and commercial success, especially COD 4 Modern Warfare. That game genuinely changed the industry and introduced a multiplayer mechanic that has influenced everyone. It affected more people than cocaine. It's even more astounding as that was back in 2007, meaning now we're coming up to a full decade of the franchise leading the pack in this sense. The problem, however, is the constant idiots you find online. I get the bigger something becomes, the more you have to deal with buffoons, but all Call of Duty does these days is serve as a big reminder that there are some awful geeks in the world who will say the most terrible things without a second's thought. It is literally like a beacon into how shite mankind is and why our downfall will be swift and just. It gets worse because these idiots are always 14 years old too, so you can't even reason with them. And they're really good at the game, which is doubly annoying, because there you are trying to make an intelligent point and you keep getting shot in the face as soon as you respawn, and then being called a massive bitch. It's enough to send you over the edge. It really is. Now please do go to patreon.com/SimonMiller316 to support videos such as this. Like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316 and then just go have yourself a lovely little day.